I still can't believe that I'm like I got banned from a country. Like, what am I doing that my country, I wasn't even going to speak about Israel, like nothing. And yet the Zionist lobby rose up and like, she can't speak. I was going to speak about homeschooling and children and my backstory and race issues. And they were like, you can't come in. Okay. But you can still download my podcast on Spotify. I don't understand.
So the news just dropped that Candace Owens will not be getting her visa. She was trying to challenge in the High Court, to the tune of $400,000, by the way, the fact that they don't have the right to do this. We have freedom of speech in Australia and we should be able to come out and speak. Now that's been rejected. You can't go any higher than the High Court of Australia. And unfortunately, that means the tour scheduled for June is off. It's not going to happen. It's a shame because she was allowed to speak in New Zealand, but apparently she can't speak in Australia. The double standard here is nuts. You've got ISIS brides that were snuck into the cover of night into Australia, but Candace Owens is not allowed into the country because she has the potential to incite discord, division. That's insane. That's crazy. And look, you may not agree with everything she said, but check this comment out from Rukshan. He says, personally, I don't agree with Candace on many of her recent views. However, I don't believe such judgments on character grounds based on her political or ideological views are in line with upholding free speech principles that are a normal part of political discourse. Yes, she has said some pretty outlandish things and specifically spoken out against certain communities, but I don't think she's incited any type of violence with her speech. And he's absolutely correct. I mean, if you look at her own words on what she was coming out to speak on, this is what she had to say.
I was going to speak about homeschooling and children and my backstory and race issues. And they were like, you can't come in.
And the timing of this just seems off. I mean, we were in the final hours of Charlie Kirk's birthday in America, Charlie Kirk being Candace's best friend. Charlie just gotten the Medal of Freedom at the White House. And this story drops today, right now. The tour director didn't even know. I called him on the phone. I said, hey, what's your reaction to the news? He didn't even know. But the media all had a statement and ready to go at the same time in lightning speed. What the real cherry on the top for me is the fact that Anthony Albanese, his reaction to Charlie Kirk's death, where he gave his condolences, I said it then, he's full of crap. Because we were coming out with a tour for next year with Charlie Kirk and some of his team. If you don't think we would have had the same issues with regards to their visas, I've got a bridge to sell you. They do not want right-wing populists in Australia. It's as simple as that. Lastly, I did ask the tour director about refunds. Everything's being refunded. Everything's going out. Ticket booth, ticket tech, they're sorting it. But this is what it means to be a conservative in 2025.
So y'all know Candace Owens, right? If you don't know, hang on. Hey beautiful people, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. So credit goes to the creators in these videos. And guys, in today's video, Candace Owens has been denied entry to Australia. So she's she's an American political speaker, a conservator, a commentator. She wanted to visit Australia for a speaking tour last year, 2024. But the Australian government said no. So a visa was refused by the Minister for Home Affairs, Tony. The government said that she did not pass a character test. And this rule is used to decide if a person might cause trouble in the country or not. So according to them, they said she made harsh and divisive comments about Muslims, about Jewish, about blacks, about the LGBTQ people in the past. And they believe that letting her into Australia could create social tension and conflict. And because of that, they said she is not allowed in Australia. And y'all know, if you watch Border Security, this program they air on TV, you know the way, is it Border Security or Border Patrol, one of the two, you know the way Australia is so protective of people that enter into their country. But fast forward, right, Candace did not accept the decision quietly, so she went to Australia's High Court to appeal, guys. Because according to our lawyers, they said that the visa ban was unfair and it went against freedom of political speech. Let's see what the creators have to say.
There is a strong case for the national interest of Australia being well served by Candace Owens being somewhere else, and she is not alone in that category. My view, as I've said before, is When someone applies for a visa, they are asking to be a guest in your country. If their purpose for coming is to start an argument and to incite discord, we don't have to say yes. If someone knocks on the door to your home and the reason they are turning up is to disrupt everything, it's up to you whether you let them in. And my approach is, with all the challenges we have to social cohesion, I'm very proud for Australia to draw a line and say, yep, Australians have freedom of speech. But people who come here wanting to cause harm in different ways, people who come here wanting to disrupt, people who come and want to promote their own brand of bigotry, we don't need to say yes. We can refuse, we can cancel, and I have, and I'll continue to do so.
So Candace Owens tried to go to Australia and Australia straight up said no. Her visa was literally rejected on the grounds of inciting discord, which is the bureaucratic way of saying, we've seen your YouTube channel. Now, she did actually try to appeal this decision, but the High Courts of Australia came back, said nope, and stamped the ban in permanent ink. The reasoning, her history of hate speech, misinformation, and comments that fuel division. Now, this is where the irony really hits, because this is the same woman who built her entire brand on mocking people for being too sensitive, crying about cancel culture and screaming about accountability. But the second that accountability shows up wearing an Australian badge, suddenly it's censorship and tyranny. And she spent literal years telling other countries to tighten up their borders, but the second that one closes on her, it's oppression. It's the classic far-right paradox: freedom of speech for me, but strict borders for everybody else until the border says no to you. So yeah, Candace Owens just found out the hard way. You can't preach about border control and then cry when one controls you.
Did you all see that Candace Owens got denied her visa for her tour there in Australia? Australia originally ruled in 2024 that she applied in 2024 or something like that, said you can't get a visa because of character. That was their ruling. And then she appealed to the higher court. The higher court came back and said, nope, you're not coming in. I don't know what she was intending to do then there. Probably just her normal talking points and stuff like that. Maybe she was going to be a crocodile hunter, like, g'day, mate. That's right. Yeah, that's not a knife. No, that's a knife. But I don't really know exactly why she was trying to get in. But that being said, how do y'all feel about her? And how do y'all feel about her being denied a visa to get into a country because of her opinions and her character is what they claimed. Here's my personal opinion on Candace Owens. And this is just from my perspective. I haven't watched a ton on her. I watched her a little bit a couple years ago. To me, she came across as a strong woman, very opinionated, who didn't give a crap what anybody else thought. I don't really have a problem with that. I didn't necessarily agree with everything she said, but I don't really have a problem with that. But recently, she's gone way off the rails on conspiracy theory stuff since the Charlie Kirk assassination. So it's kind of I'm not nearly as willing to listen as much to her anymore. That being said, I don't know that she should have been denied based on character, but hit me up in the comments and let me know.
Oh well, if you know Australia well, you know they are very, very protective of whoever or whatever comes into their country. And they said that, Candace's lawyer said that even though Australia does not have a written free speech law like the United States, the Australian Constitution still protects open political decision, and apparently everything Candace stands for, Australia does not want it in their country. And our team is saying that our opinions were, that banning her for our opinions were dangerous because the government could silence one speaker for controversial views. If that happens, that means they can silence anyone. And they're also saying that the minister, right, Tony, exaggerated the idea that she may cause division, that they are just giving excuses upon excuses to keep her out, that there is no division she wants to cause, that she is just coming, to have a speaking tour. And according to her, she said she just wants to come in, to talk about families, to talk about children, to talk about her background, race, and all of that. But guys, the High Court did not agree with her. All the judges ruled against Candace Owens, and the court said that Australian law about character testing, quote, is valid and legal. And the judges even explained that the government can stop someone from entering the country if there's a real risk that the person could stir, hate or unrest, and their right to political communication is not unlimited, which means it can be restricted when needed to protect peace, safety and harmony in the society, guys. And because of all these details, the court decided the minister acted very well within his powers, and all the reasons that in which a visa was denied was very, very valid. Guys, what do you think in the comment section? Do you think it's not that deep, or do you think they were right to bar whoever they want to bar from entering into their country? Let's see what the other creators have to say.
Okay, so Candace Owens has just been barred from coming into Australia. And in all honesty, more and more I agree with her less and less. That being said, however, she is still a woman that makes her living off of speaking. And if she's getting barred from Australia because of speaking, because of doing her job, I think we ought to be worried about that. Now, what did the court cite as the reason for why they weren't letting her in? They said that she didn't pass the character test, and they also said that she would incite discord. Now, the definition of discord, I'm not sure if you know this, is simply people disagreeing. What is wrong with that? That is what we need. And if Candace is wrong about something, then discord is the way to figure that out. To have two disagreeing ideas come together and the truth to come out on top. To stop Candace from coming to Australia stops that from ever happening and stops the fallacy of her beliefs ever being discovered. Or the fallacy of our beliefs ever being discovered. Whatever it happens to be. Let's just call it what it is. It's a limitation on free speech.
Tony Burke is the Home Affairs Minister for Australia. He's the one who used the power of his office last fall to reject Candace Owens from coming to do a speaking tour because she failed the character test. And Australia doesn't want her there. So she appealed that because she wants to go to Australia and spew her shit, okay? And the High Court of Australia said, yeah, no, we don't want you here because we'd rather maintain social cohesion. And her inflammatory marks are a threat to that. So Tony Burke is the same guy who revoked Kanye's visa after he released the single, his song praising the Mustache Man. Yeah. So sorry about you, Candace. You can take your garbage and put it somewhere else. How about Mars?
Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because Candice has been barred from coming to Australia just because of free speech. I mean, she airs her opinions online, and those opinions have cost her entry into Australia. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think free speech should have limits, who decides, as in who gets to decide where those limits are? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because these days it looks like free speech has been putting a lot of people in trouble. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. And if you have found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video. Please stay safe. Mental health is important. Ciao.